fun.
Where's Matt LaFleur? That was gibberish for. Can you believe we started with Malik Willis and won a game?
That's exactly what it means. We'll get to that. I'm feeling it.
Oh, we're live, baby. We're live. Let's do this. Let's do this, ladies.
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose move on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
It is your opportunity because it is Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the Main Event Football Show. I'm Main Event Mike, your host, going to be with you today for the next hour or so. We're going to look back at this Lions loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. And we're also going to look ahead to the Atlanta-Philadelphia Monday night game tonight. We're going to review our predictions from last week. But before we do that, I want to tell you that we are broadcasting live into Facebook, into Lions Villain Squad page, 53,000 Villain Strong. If you haven't already, please follow the page. Also broadcasting live into YouTube at Villain Squad on YouTube. Also at Joe Chapper, JC Sports on YouTube as well. Also broadcasting live into Detroit Lions News Podcast. Big shout out to Joe Chap and the boys. And I think that's actually where we're going is only in YouTube from what I see on my end. We're not going live in Facebook today.
My bad.
Oh,
here we go. We'll get
pay no
somebody.
attention to the man behind the curtain. Pay attention to
I'm
this big
sorry.
talking head right here on the screen. Don't pay any attention to that man behind the curtain. He doesn't exist today. Welcome to the Main Event Football Show. We're broadcasting live into Facebook on the Villain Squad page, Lions Villain Squad. Follow our page. We're also broadcasting live into Detroit Lions News podcast page, also into YouTube, JC Sports, and at Villain Squad. All right, let's get into this show. Lions are now 1-1 on the season and not in first place in the division after 2 games. That title belongs to the Minnesota Vikings, but the Lions fall 20-16 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 2. The villain was at the game. Russ and I were there. Maybe why we lost, I don't know. But we beat the crap out of the Bucs up and down the field, but it never seemed like we were going to win the game. Even when we had the ball on the last possession, it never felt like it was going to happen. And honestly, everybody can say what they want, but that crowd was not as loud as what we had seen. That crowd was not as boisterous as what I had seen before. I was there week 18 when we had the division wrapped up against the Vikings, much louder than we were there on Sunday. I know we did force a penalty, but nothing seemed in sync for me at the game. And Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have put a good product together, they think, and then they go out there and they just can't get it done. Dan Campbell said it in his post-game press conference. We were out of sync. We just couldn't get things clicking, right? Then a big penalty. As soon as they would get something going, they'd have a big penalty, which would kill their momentum. It's these intangible things you can't really put your finger on what went wrong, because Lord knows if you look at the box score, you want to look at the tail of the tape, the Lions destroyed the Bucs on paper. They had 5 sacks to the Buccaneers, 0 sacks. They had 463 yards of offense to the Buccaneers, 216. Smoked them. They held the Buccaneers to 1 for 2 in the red zone and 2 for 10 on third down. Usually that's a recipe for a win, folks. But turnovers kill you. They kill you. And the Lions turned the ball over with a couple of picks, ill-timed picks at that. And as a result of what Dan Campbell was talking about, could never get in sync, could never get that rhythm going, could never start clicking, he said. It seemed like Ben Johnson's play calling was off script. Maybe he was trying to get too cute, too creative. I mean, their offensive line being bashed all over the internet today, that after 2 games, this elite offensive line, it ranks 14th in run blocking. It ranks 17th in pass blocking. And if you look at the box score, looks like we dominated them. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs had 6.5 yards per carry. David Montgomery had 3.2 yards per carry and a touchdown. It seems like we were kicking their butt, but it seemed like they knew everything we were doing. It seemed like they knew right where the play was going every time. So put it in the chat. I want you to tell me, put your finger on it. What went wrong? If you want to give your kudos to the Buccaneers and say they just kicked our ass, then go ahead. Then you are entitled to that opinion. But it just seemed like we were the superior team that kept sputtering. They had played us 2 times in a row, and they came out with a vengeance, just like the Rams did. The Rams came out with a vengeance too. The Rams tried very hard. Like Dan Campbell said, that team gave us everything they had. They just weren't good enough up and down the roster to hang with us when the fourth quarter came. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were. Their defense stood up without Antoine Winfield, without Kalijah Kancey on the defensive line. Sure, they didn't get any sacks, but they were in Goff's face a lot. They were pressuring Goff a lot. So want to say hi to everybody who's in here today. Of course, we got Big M. We got Davey, Smoking Jeremy B. David in the house. What's up, Big M? Hey, Donkey Kong is here. Super Bowler bust. That was a awful showing yesterday. Whoo, we're going to talk about that, Donkey Kong. I love that comment. Smoking Jeremy B says because we were 1 of 7 in the red zone. Right. Jake Bates hit all his field goals. That's a bright spot we can take away. I agree 100% there, though. 1-7 in the red zone was pitiful. That's where the picks were coming. One came in the red zone. I mean, take, for example, the very last possession. We get the ball, what are we on the 13-yard line? 1st and 10. You just got to get to the 3 for a first down. On the first play, they lose 4 yards. 2nd and 14. Now you get 5 back. You're looking at a big 3rd down. Incomplete. 4th down. I don't even want to talk about 4th down. What was that? What was that? I mean, you were still 3 yards from the stick to even get the first down with only 6 seconds left. And let's not forget about the blunders by Dan Campbell. Getting a score at the end of the half would have been real nice when you get the ball to come out for the second half. No, we didn't do nothing. We did get a field goal in the 3rd quarter, so we did get some points in the 3rd quarter. I think that's 2 games in a row. Even though we lost, this 3rd quarter thing might be at an end. Greg Rice in the house, GREGG from the West Coast. The West Coast Stat Master in the house. What is up? Good to see you. 55 passing plays and 27 running plays by Smoke and Jeremy B. I think that was the biggest issue. Well, yeah. Was it, though? I mean, 55 attempts. They came out slinging the ball. Slinging the ball. I think it was 3rd possession before they went in their first run play. It wasn't getting us anywhere. They seemed to have us. They had our number. First 4 or 5 games of this season, we knew was the hardest stretch. With the bye week at week 5 and we get Dallas week 6. When Dallas is over, that's supposed to be the easy part of the schedule. Because, we had to play Minnesota twice. Yeah, well, that's not looking so good. A loss to Tampa is not good. We need to beat the Niners. We need to beat the Packers. We need to beat the Bears and the Vikings. We should beat the Buccaneers at home. We beat them twice last year. They're a good team, yeah. But 463 yards of offense to 216. And the defense, by the way, 20 points they allowed. That's not bad. The team that led the league in defense last year allowed 18 points per game. 20 points per game is good, folks. This defense to allow 20 points per game to 2 playoff teams right off the bat, that's an improvement. Dan Campbell said in his post-game press conference, I asked them to improve, and they did. They did. Sure, there's a few things you could put your finger on. Couldn't score in the red zone, okay. Maybe the play calling was out of touch, okay. They couldn't get things clicking, okay. But that last drive, that last possession, I should say, they looked not prepared for the season. I didn't believe in this missing preseason snaps. How big of a deal is it? Maybe you could say all across the league teams look like this. They look rusty, even whether they had preseason snaps or not. But I can tell you that I was there, and I watched it, and you watched it on TV, or you were there. And this team just wasn't a well-oiled machine like we saw down the last 10 weeks of the season last year. If you don't agree with me, that's okay. Put it in the comments. I do want to hear from you about it, though. Baker Mayfield, 12 of 19 for 185 yards, a touchdown and an interception. It's not exactly setting the world on fire. I'm going to make this screen bigger so I can read it here. There we go. Bucky Irving, my late fantasy football pickup, 7 carries, 22 yards. Rashad White, 10 carries, 18 yards. I mean, that's a shutdown. We shut the run down, folks. It's right there in front of you. Chris Godwin, 7 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. That looks a lot like the stat line from Cooper Kupp, doesn't it? Well, he had, 14 catches. So they're picking on the rookie corner. There's no doubt about that. That's okay. Now, I'm not crucifying Terrion Arnold like a lot of people are today. All right? That was a bad penalty. But I look at the upside of that. He was stride for stride on coverage. He just shoved the guy before the ball got there. Okay? But he was right there. Had he not shoved him, he had his head turned around. He made a play on the ball. He didn't need that shove. He'll learn that. He'll clean that up. But just the fact that he was there to make a play on that ball, we're going to be all right with this kid, I believe, at corner. Jeffrey Addis in the house says, what's up? President accounted for. What up, man? Xavier Robinson in the house. The one and only Fred Peterson, that last drive, throw it over the center to waste a timeout. Yeah. Xavier thinks the Lions will make a comeback. That's a good call. Jason MC's in the house. I really like Dan Campbell as a coach. I super respect that guy for taking some accountability. Classy. You're still division champs, so I'll be Vlast 2. Skol. Vlast 2. Is that the new song from Rammstein? Vlast 2. Vlast 2, Skol.
I got your message, Mike.
I like it, Jason MC, though. Your team is in first place. Jason, I'm giving it to you. Sam Darnold, 2-0. Best team he's ever had around him, other than the Niners where he didn't get to play. But other than that, this is the best team he's ever had. He's much more mature now than when he came into the league at, 20 years old, to a horrible Jets franchise at that time. So Russ and I called this. The villains called this, buddy. Don't be surprised. And I even said, maybe I put this out there. I never even realized it. I put that out and maybe I manifested this. I said, don't be surprised if after 2 weeks, the Vikings are the only undefeated team in the division. Because they got, obviously, the Giants, and they beat the Niners last year. So maybe they could do it again. And doggone if they didn't do it, kudos to the Vikings. But you notice that in my voice, Jason? Do you even really believe it? Do you really even believe it, man? I mean, if you do, that's cool. But Sam Darnold, I love the addition of Stephon Gilmore. You got Brian Flores, who's as creative as they come, loves to bring pressure, loves to make it hard on quarterbacks. And I'm not here just running my mouth by myself. I'm also joined by my producer. Welcome to the program, please, Russell Wayne.
What's going on, Mike? I had to pop in. I was listening to you for a minute right there, and you lost me right there. You could say that maybe about the New York Giants, but this is the Minnesota Vikings holding their home for. You got Sam Darnold with the best weapons that he's ever had, and you can't undersell Stephon Gilmore in this defense. Brian Flores, Grenard, Van Ginkel. They brought in a bunch of pieces, and Flores is good. I think this team's going to be somebody you got to contend with for the entire season. And they're in the category of the 10-game deal. I mean, if they can keep that, I mean, that's a quality team. You cannot take anything away from that win right there. You get your flowers from me. That's just, this part of the villain. It's like we're the yin and the yang of the villain, right? Usually you and I aren't on the same yin or yang, and that's okay. That just means that we're unstable, which is a good thing.
You think the Vikings can win 10 games?
I think they started out 2-0, and you have to start thinking about why. I mean, defensively, they just stopped 17 points. I get, they don't have Christian McCaffrey. I get that they beat the wounded duck, right? The wounded team. But it's like, here's the thing, next man up. Look what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just did. Everybody thinks just because that guy's injured that the next man up sucks. Look at that next man up. And I think that when you look at that next man up and the guy's still performing at a high level and that number is still there, that means that's just a sign of good coaching. That means your next man up is going to be good. And kudos. Good job. Good job. Minnesota, you get nothing but love. You can run your mouth. I'm looking for some good trash talk in there. Let's see the trash talk. You've earned it. You've earned it.
Well, Jason, says, always wants to just keep things on a positive flow. So I like that too. Well, we got another Viking in the fan house. Sarah says, thanks, Russ, for giving Minnesota their flowers this week.
It's the only thing that we can do. And it's like the other fan bases, even the Packers can come in and throw some shade, even though they never show up when they lose. We allow that here. If you win, you can come in and talk the talk. But Bears, I know that you've been chomping at the bit to say some stuff, but we're not going to allow that. You got to win to open up your mouth. And right now, the villain can't talk. You know, we're not allowed to run our mouth. We lost.
Right on. David says TA is a rookie. He'll get his hands in check. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly the same thing we said after the first game. Don't worry. He'll clean that up. He'll learn. It's not the college game. He'll learn, he'll even learn how to hide his hands, that people were saying. Right? Well, that's 2 games in a row now. I don't want to be saying, are we going to be saying that again?
I think that the defense is getting crucified way too bad. And I'm just going to I'm going to play villain's advocate here. And I got to come to the defense a little bit. Here's the bottom line, guys. I think that the defense outcoached Tampa Bay's offense, because when you give the team not 1, but 2 chances from inside the 50-yard line to go down and score points, that defense did everything that a defense should do, even after all of the debacles and whatever you want to say happened during the game. It came down to 2 drives, and the defense got 2 big stops, and it was up to the offense to deliver the win, not the defense. The defense
couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. The defense was not the problem. It was that sputtering offense, that offense that's supposed to be elite, top 5 last year, coming out of the gate. They looked not connected. They looked, I used the word discombobulated. I was at the game and I said, they just seem discombobulated.
And I got something to say to the run crowd, the run crowd, the one, when you watch the ebb and flow of the game, I think what gets lost in the replays, right, are the 3 and outs and the quick plays where they just got us off of the field, where we did try to run the ball on 1st and 2nd down and it got stuffed, and then you're sitting at 3rd and 9. Like, there was a lot of that going on in the game on both sides, because I think that the defense is getting the long end, the bad end of the stick, because they did have a lot of those 3 and outs where they were able to stop and get Baker Mayfield off of the field and give the offense another chance. And then Tampa Bay was to get a stop. And it was going back and forth like that. There were some good defensive stops through that. And Tampa Bay was very good at stopping our run. We had a couple breakout runs in that game, but for the most part, we were stopped for 1, 2 yards, 3 yards.
Losses, a lot of tackles for losses.
Yep.
Absolutely. The guy in the secondary, Whitehead, he played a great game without Antoine Winfield there. He was all over the place. They have Levante David, played good game. So, but to those people that to counter what you just said, though, about those people that say we should have run the ball, like Big M in the comments says the best tandem running backs in the league, and you don't wear down the Bucs D, especially as shorthanded as they were. I mean, yeah, you got the best punter in the game too. Just keep pounding the rock, man. Pound the rock. 55 pass attempts. Sorry, 54 because one was a fake punt. But
you know me, Mike. I love that. I love pounding the rock, but it wasn't working in the middle. I did take a sneak peek at the PFF scores, and I was confirmed with a couple of my ideas that I had earlier. And in the interior of the Lions' offensive line were the worst players. Frank Ragnow had his worst game maybe ever as a Lion, in a Lion, all the way back to his rookie year. This may have been his worst game, according to PFF. And we're going to get into that tomorrow. But they were getting no go in the middle of that defensive line. There was
he played against a real nose tackle in Vita Vea.
Who
by the way, was knocked out of the game, and they're still waiting to see if he's going to be able to play next week even. So, but Vita Vea abused Frank Ragnow and was able to shut down the run in the middle of the line. Gotcha. But even with that being said, Russ, we have the best punter in the game. Pound the rock, soften them up. That just the game plan was disconnected. Fred says, I firmly believe Terrion Arnold's going to be a top 5 DB in the next few years. He checks all the boxes to be a shutdown back. He just has to hone his skills for the NFL coming out of college. And you could say that about any rookie.
Yeah. Well, they're going after him, though.
He's got it, though. And you heard Aaron Glenn the other day say, we're not going to slow him down at all. We're not going to take away that aggressiveness. We want him to continue to be that aggressive.
Oh, he's still a good tackler. I don't care what his PFF score says, what he did. I mean, he got beat on a couple of passes for sure because they're going after him. But he's a good tackler. He's
if you love the ratings and the numbers and the PFF scores, be sure to tune in tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning, it is the Villain Report hosted by Russell Wayne, and it's PFF Tuesday. And he's going to go through all the nerdy numbers with you and tell you that Terrion Arnold had a good or a bad PFF score. There it is, 10 a.m. We'll be talking about the Applebee's assistant manager.
Tell me in the comments if you've ordered your wings like that at Applebee's yet. I want to know if any of the listeners.
10 a.m. tomorrow morning and every weekday morning and Saturdays as well. It's the Villain Report with Russell Wayne. Sarah says the Vikings were wounded also.
You want to talk about this one at all and give them some flowers? Because we should. No. I know we don't want to.
No, because that would have been one silver lining to this weekend is that the Packers lost. We lost too. Yeah, it sucks. Kudos to the Vikings. But guess what? We can all agree on is awesome. The Packers lost.
Well,
but no, they didn't. They started Malik Willis and won a game. Indianapolis Colts, shame on you, Indy. They got ran right off the field. The rushing game was on point for Green Bay. Josh Jacobs over 150 yards on the ground. Emmanuel Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd, Malik Willis himself. They were all running like crazy. I think the rush total was 264, some absurd number. Shame on you, Indianapolis, for letting that happen.
Well, because of that, you get you could even get your troll comments read right here on the show. Well, we deserve it. We're taking our medicine.
While Gardner Minshew was winning in Baltimore, you had Anthony Richardson in there losing to Malik Willis.
Through 14. Fuck. I almost cursed right there. 14 passes, Mike. Malik Willis. You know, we could have had Malik Willis at number 2 overall, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of Aiden Hutchinson, we could have had him. No.
Jason MC says Hutchinson's such a dog, could be a defensive MVP. Great call out, Jason. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about that. Was this the DJ Reader effect, Russ? Is that what you think this was?
Not just DJ Reader. This is the Levi Onwuzurike too. Levi Onwuzurike is put together not one but two. Both of these games, he was definitely a plus player, and they gave him even more snaps. And here he is, Levi Onwuzurike, 2 games, 2 sacks. We were looking for another person that's going to make an impact, and we may have found him. And for sure, DJ Reader is a people eater. You know, he's like Vita Vea. That's what we ran into problems right there because those guys, it's not going to show up in the stats.
No, he had 1 tackle. He had 1 tackle in the game.
Yeah, but what DJ Reader does, he's not going to show up in stats. He's going to take 2 guys and he anchors. It's something that defensive linemen, like true defensive linemen, do.
Right. That is, and I love your call out about Levi Onwuzurike. That's 2 games in a row now that he's come out and looked like a frontline player for the Detroit Lions. That's great. Loved how the defense played. Hutchinson, 4.5 sacks, and it is kind of crazy that they gave him the half on that play because I think Onwuzurike got a half of that by putting a hand in there. I think he got a hand on him, and they took that other half sack. I knew they were going to do that. And, you know, the kid is really developing into one of the premier defensive players in the league. It's unquestionable. I mean, another year like this, and we'll be talking about him like TJ Watt.
Yep.
I firmly believe. Guys come and go. Fred says he went to Applebee's and had the wings like 2 weeks ago, and they were good.
No, I think that there's some growing pains happening right now because I was just glancing while you were talking right there about at the PFF scores, and I'm seeing a couple trends here. And what I'm seeing is other defensive linemen showing up as being plus players, And when I say plus on PFF, that's like above. When you get between 65 and 70, that's where you start becoming an above average player. And then when you get to 70, you're a plus player. Levi and Josh Paschal are trending towards becoming plus players. And that's all you can really ask. You want a bunch of guys that no matter what, when you throw those guys out there, they're gonna be getting after the quarterback.
And speaking of getting after the quarterback, this is what I love Jeremy Beebe for the most. These little obscure nuggets of data that he'll pull up that I find so interesting. The Texans had 14 pressures and 7 sacks against the Bears. Coincidentally, all 14 of those pressure plays were Caleb Williams incompletions. He was 23 of 37. So the kid not responding well to the pressure so far. And with that offensive line, he better get used to it because I don't see a lot of relief coming down for him over the next 16 weeks.
Well, so far he's got a lot to prove in there because, you can go 12 for 12 throwing screen passes. None of those where he was 12 for 12 were the ones that he wasn't pressured. Yeah, he threw it to a guy that was, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage every single time. And when you tried to throw down the field, Caleb Williams, you struggled.
Right. Sarah's in here just spitting facts, okay? She don't care. She's just spitting facts. Whatever you say, she's going to spit you a facts back. Like, Bears have no offense. They can't score. Bears have no O-line.
Hey.
Oh, you got 4.5 sacks? Oh, well, we sacked Purdy 6 times. I get it, Sarah. I get it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike.
You guys are for real.
I got to learn the rules. I'm making my own rules. I got to make sure I live by them. I'm not supposed to be talking. I'm not supposed to talk. I wasn't supposed to say anything bad about Caleb Williams. That's Sarah's job.
I don't think you said anything really bad about Caleb Williams.
Well, I guess, sometimes facts hurt feelings.
Absolutely.
And
so that's enough postulating on the loss. There's going to be another game next week, and that's going to be out in Arizona. And this is a weekly show, not a daily show. So we also like to take a look ahead. And before we look ahead at next week's game against Arizona, we're going to look at the Monday night game, which is tonight.
Boom.
In about an hour from now.
My lock
pick. It's
pick.
going to be the Atlanta Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles are favored by 6.5 points. Russell did make this his lock pick for the week. He took the Atlanta Falcons. He likes getting those 6.5 points on the road against a Philadelphia team that, even though they did beat the Packers, they didn't really look all that great.
I like that. You know me, man. We've been doing this like when we went through our top 11 series. It was just like I'm kind of pulling for the Atlanta Falcons, like, just kind of watching them in the horizon because you can just kind of see this coming. I mean, they had some top 10 like rooms where, they got some nice young players, playmakers. Kirk Cousins, I think, is an underrated quarterback. I'm sorry, Sarah. I know that doesn't go to your call in there, but he's just one of those pocket guys. And with Drake London and, Bijan Robinson and, Tyler Algier and Kyle Pitts that nobody believes in and everybody hates because he screwed them over on their own fantasy football team. Ah!
And she says to that, Russ, betting on Kirk in primetime is a lost cause.
You like that?
You're wasting your time, she's what she's saying. But
you know what, Sarah? and here's something. He might not have to do much in prime time. He might be able to hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson and let him do all the work.
True that. So last week we picked 15 games, and we had former NFL wide receiver Mark Schmidt on the show on Thursday when we made our predictions. And the final results are in. Both of us got our lock pick wrong. I had Kansas City as my lock against Cincinnati, and even though they won, they did not cover, so I lost my lock pick. Your lock pick is Atlanta tonight. I picked 6 games correctly out of 15. Pretty paltry. Mark Schmidt picked 6 games out of 15.
Oh, no.
Russell Wayne picked 7 games.
Oh, my God. We suck. We suck this year.
Dude, I don't really think it was us, because here's the thing. We all took Houston to beat the Bears. The point spread was 6. They won by 6. So you can find that up and down this roster. But it does seem that odd that you and I both took the Indianapolis Colts and Mark Schmidt took the Green Bay Packers. That seems like easy money in hindsight, because the Packers were getting those points. I mean, they were getting 3 points at home. That seems like easy money, like Broski Bear said this
total
morning.
Hater pick on our part.
Yeah, total hater pick.
Yep.
And then the New Orleans Saints
on division games.
Russ, you were the only one that took the New Orleans Saints. So that was the difference maker right there. For you getting 7 and we got 6. We both took Dallas. You took New Orleans.
I took the bum.
You took the bum, Derek Carr. And the New Orleans Saints go in and they beat Dallas 44-19. Oh, Jeremy's batting even lower than us. 5. That shows you that this week is one of those weeks where they're going to get you.
You know, Vegas a lot of the number 1 teams went down, and they get you with them point spreads, dude. They're so good with them point spreads. That's where they get you. Yeah. I lost my lock pick last week, not because I picked the wrong team. It wasn't enough points.
You also lost the Seattle game by a half point. Seattle won the game, but they were laying 3.5, and they only covered by 3. So that's another one that got you there with the points. But
yeah. And if Philadelphia wins by 7 points, it wouldn't surprise me, and
right. The handicappers in Vegas, they know what they're doing, man. They're always close. It seems like. I mean, when you get one of those, it's an outlier. That Saints game, that's an exception, not the rule. So be sure to tune into the Villain Report 10 a.m. You can also catch that recorded version too on the Lions Villain Squad page. On Thursdays, we make our predictions, and then we go through them on this show on Monday night. So we appreciate everybody following along in the chat with us. You're watching the Main Event Football Show, hosted by Main Event Mike, produced by the Maestro Russell Wayne. Go over to our YouTube channel, please, and subscribe, because we are definitely trying to grow that. We appreciate each and every one of you. We also appreciate you if you are watching this on pre-recorded, or if you're watching the recorded version of this right now. Know that we appreciate that. Please click the like button for us. It does help a little bit. I don't know if you know this, but like and hearts actually, like they count more, right? They count more for Facebook than the like does. But I'm not pressuring anybody to put a heart, because it's kind of weird. I know. Heart? Do I really heart you? I don't know. But please click the like emoji or the heart emoji. See here on the view that I'm looking at, not many people have. A lot more people watching than have hit one. But that's how it works. Smash the like button, folks. It's good for our page. And we appreciate you. And we're not getting rich. We ain't making a bunch of money off of this, trust me. We're just here because we love ball. Just like our team, just like our coach. Just like Andre the Giant. We love ball. We love football. Here at the Villain Squad, we love football. Jason says Saints are for real. No way. It's a mirage. No way. I'm not going to believe it.
Alvin Kamara looks like the old Alvin Kamara, and he's on my fantasy team dropping. I got Saquon Barkley going tonight.
Here's that Jeremy B little tidbit. 15 drives and 15 scores for the Saints. 91 points scored in 2 games, good enough for the second best start in football. to only, I believe, the Rams, the greatest show on turf, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, are you believing in the bum yet? He's not
no.
the bum, is he? Oh no.
Sarah says, trust noon, Kirk, not 7 p.m. Kirk. What do you got to say about that, old man?
Another day. Mama says that I should just go ahead and open up a can of whoop ass.
All right, so let's take a look. Detroit Lions next game. It'll be week 3. We travel out west to play the Arizona Cardinals, who put a smackdown on the Los Angeles Rams, 41-10. Knocked Cooper Kupp is out, going to IR probably. Cooper Kupp and Nakua on IR. These guys are hurting. The Rams, right out of the gate, get their ass whooped by the division rival Cardinals. Nobody saw that coming. 41-10. Not even Vegas saw that coming. It was point spread was 1. This is the team the Lions got to play. They're going to be feeling good. Now, even though they lost week 1, the Cardinals played a really good game. It was at Buffalo, I think. It was a really good team. They played really well, and they were in it 28-34, 34-28 was the final score of that game on the road in Buffalo, and they played really good. And they come home against the Rams team and wax them. Jonathan Gannon is going to be bringing blitz, and that home cooking for them being out west. The Lions traditionally don't play well out there. I don't know if you, in my lifetime, even when the Cardinals suck and the Lions suck, it's a battle of sucky teams. Lions still seem to lose that one. We did win the last one, I believe, though, when Dan Campbell was the head coach. Maybe the last meeting we won. But traditionally, historically, we don't do well when we go out west,
Mike,
including Arizona.
We've lost for 30 years. Historically, we haven't done well anywhere. So I don't know. I kind of go with pre-Campbell and post-Campbell. And, we've had to deal with some other stuff, but Campbell beat them on the road, so.
So we traditionally, historically, do not play well in Arizona. But if we lose this one, week 3, I'm going to start to panic a bit. Okay? Yeah, we haven't historically played well there. Yes, we beat them the last time we were there. This is a new set of circumstances. Kyler Murray has a whole new team now. Right? Dalton Kincaid, talented tight end, Marvin Harrison Jr., and a defense that's playing above their heads because they have such a good defensive-minded coach. Jonathan Gannon did a lot. He got an Eagles team to the Super Bowl. He knows how to coach a defense. And they're only 1-1. They're good. They don't want to go 1-2, just like the Lions. It's going to be a great, great matchup. I think it's a 4:25 kickoff. Check the Villain Squad page for the time and the channel that's on. We did put up a post that puts that out there. Arizona Cardinals. After that, we go to the bye week. After that, we go Monday Night Football against the Seahawks. Then the bye week. Then the Dallas Cowboys on the road. And we identify this. A lot of people identified this as the hardest part of the schedule. And we were thinking, if we come out of it 4-1, we're golden. We come out of it 3-2, we're still good. But all of that is predicated on beating Arizona. Okay, you split with Rams and the Bucks. If you split them two, if you'd have told me 2 weeks ago that you're going to split those two, I would be fine with that. So I'm not pushing the panic button yet. But I got to play them damn Seahawks on Monday Night Football. And then I got to play that pesky bye week. The Lions are so... They're 0-69 against the bye week. Makes a good meme anyway. Jeremy says Kyler Murray is 0-2-1 versus the Lions as a starter. Thank you. Jeremy Google Ballright. 3-0-1 in our last 4 trips against the Cardinals, going back to Petrasha. Well, there you go. I'm older than you, Jeremy. Good call, though. Appreciate it. Dwayne Keene says good evening to all. Oh, and I did get the trivia question right. What do I win, Jeremy?
What do I win? What do we have for him, Michael?
Russell, tell him what they've won.
You won a shiny turd.
And a Villain Squad coffee mug.
That's right.
Don't forget, we do have a store, folks. If you want a Villain Squad coffee mug, there's only one person in the world that has one. So they're relatively rare and collectible. One person in the world named Fred that owns a coffee mug. You can have a Villain Squad. You could be number 2. You could have the Villain Squad coffee mug. Do you have a link for that, Russ, we could put up?
No, but I do have the NFL shop like right there that pops up
right.
in 10 seconds that I do have 4 separate slides for our sponsor that's actually bringing you this broadcast here, not the Villain Squad coffee mug, which there is a good spot right there. We do put them up. You can go to the page, and Mike does throw up one of those links every day for the Villain Squad coffee mug over on the Facebook page where you can get that. But this show being brought to you by the NFL shop, we are affiliate marketing partners with them. And I know everybody's not feeling too good right now, but if you want to get yourself a hat, you can use this QR code right there, and you can go grab yourself one of them fitted hats right there. That seems to be something that you like, Mike. Talk about it.
Yeah, you just said it all right there, buddy. We're affiliate marketing partners of NFL shop, and I got to get used to saying it on this show. My bad. I'll get it for sure moving forward. Jeremy, I wasn't saying that you Googled it. I'm saying you're like Google. Jeremy, Google ball right. I'm not saying that you Googled it, but you're like Google where you give me the answer. Now, oh, look at that. There's the link to NFL shop in the chat for you, folks. Get yourself a new Lions hat. You can get a new jersey. This sweet hoodie right here came off NFL shop.
Yep, the one that I just threw in there, by the way, for like the next 3 hours. This sounds like such a telethon thing to say, but for like the next 3 hours, they with NFL Score, you get 25% off of your order.
So that's the code NFL Score.
NFL Score. But when you go to the site, when you use the link, it pops right up for you anyway. So
right. So there you go. We have a sponsor now, so I need to start getting used to saying it. NFL Shop, you're going to go buy something from NFL Shop this year, whether it's a new hat or something. Why not save an extra 25%, and why not help out the Villain Squad? It does give us a little bump, so we appreciate that. All right. Arizona Cardinals, we haven't got the line yet. The line hasn't been released. Usually that'll be first thing in the morning. They'll release the line. But I expect, Russ, what do you think the line is going to be? Lions at Cardinals.
I think the Lions will be favored by like 3.
I think that the Cardinals will be favored by 2.
Okay, I feel you. I feel you. With this game, the Lions haven't lost 2 in a row dating back to the 1-6 start in 2022. So this is a very resilient team. And I know that the Cardinals just put a whooping on the Rams, and we barely beat the Rams. And the transference property, that argument usually never works.
True.
But I believe that Frank Ragnow and Graham Glasgow are going to have good games against the Arizona Cardinals. I think the offensive line, like even Penei Sewell in this last game, was like a mere mortal. He still had a good game, but it wasn't the normal Sewell dominating with 95 PFF, destroying everybody in his path. It was just kind of a good game. Decker was the same way, but the middle of the line was so bad. So I expect that to lift way up. And I think that the Lions are going to be able to run the ball, and they'll be able to control the clock and win this game.
Mm-hmm. And we will make that prediction on Thursday. We'll actually take your actual prediction on that game. But I think that by virtue of the 1-1, both 1-1, and them being at home, they're going to let the Cardinals be the favorite. Those lines might be out right now, but when I looked earlier today, they were not out yet. What do we got in the comments here? Dwayne Keene says he's graded the game, and he gives the Lions offense a C- and the defense a B, because Aiden Hutchinson gets an A+. That probably brought that up to a B. Smoker Jeremy B says he give it a C+ on offense and an A- on defense.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson broke the bell curve with an A++.
Yeah, when you look at their stats, man, it's like I can't look at the defense and point a finger at it. I mean, think about this last year. If we had a defense that could just hold somebody to, to 20 points, we would have probably won 4 out of the 5 games that we lost, just having a average defense. And I mean, it's by no means great yet, but it feels like it's on the verge. I mean, the defensive line looks stout from a couple different spots. So
100%.
Just Hutchinson.
100% agree with that. And I think this secondary is going to be good. I thought Brian Branch played really good. I know he had a pick, but I think he also led the team in tackles. He played really well. Derek Barnes played really well. Held this team to 20 points, held the Rams to 20 points. You can't complain about that. You just can't.
185 passing yards. It's like, what are we talking about here? I mean,
right.
The offense had 2 chances to win at the end of the game, and that's it. That's it. If you go 1 for 7 in the red zone, that's going to happen. You got to score. You got to score, especially with these tough games where you're obviously not being able to protect interior.
Dan Campbell did have a fake punt. Gotta love that. Jack Fox with a 17-yarder to Sion Vaki. Gotta love that. And then on the same drive, goes for it on 4th down and gets it. The Lions on 4th down, 3 for 5. It's not bad. You think about all those field goals that he kicked. Is he maturing? In hindsight, should Dan Campbell have gone for those? Some of them anyway.
No,
I know that the last one they did was a short punt. It was a 4th and 6. It's just too far to go for it. I mean, when you look at when you look at where you're located on the field, hell, he did that fake punt. If that fake punt would have been incomplete, the Bucs would have got the ball on their own 30-yard line,
right,
or on the Lions' 30-yard line. So
that's why it was such a good surprise. We turned around at the game and we looked at everybody with their jaws dropped, and it's like it seems like that they do stuff like that when people least expect it.
Yeah.
And
no, we let's tell it for what it is. There was a guy in the row at the end of the row. Russ and I are on one end where the aisle is. This guy's at the very other end, and this guy's bladder was probably this big. Because I am not kidding you, this guy had to get up so many times. It was ridiculous. I feel sorry for him. Man, we had to get up, constantly stand. Oh, it's me right now. Yeah, you're right. My point is, this guy came through and we all had to get up. We all had to stand up and get up. Look. And while we did that, the fake punt happened. Thank you, Mr. Tiny Bladder, for making me miss Jack Fox throwing a pass. You may never see that again.
Yeah. I'm sorry, because from my perspective, it was like I instantly stood up for the dude, and then it was like I got to see it like the minute that I stood up and I was standing over everybody. Yeah, like it was great. It was like, whoa, first down. I turned around to the kids that were sitting behind us when I gave them the Muhammad Ali. Oh,
so. Sion Vaki in the same role that used to be CJ Moore, wearing the same number that CJ Moore wore. He's a younger, better CJ Moore, plays safety. So I love that Sion Vaki was the one that they used in that. I'm still waiting for something creative to happen on this kickoff return. I'm still waiting for the first team to do a pitch back.
You're going to get it?
Not one team has tried it yet. Not one team ran a guy out to the right while a guy lags behind. He stops and chucks a pass backwards to the other guy. No one's tried it yet. I can't wait to see the first one and see what happens.
I think
if it gets blowed up, it'll be the end of it. If it goes for a touchdown or a big gain, you might see it happening repeatedly after that. But it's going to be interesting to see who will be the first one to do it. I wanted it to be the Lions last week. What it was not to be.
Well,
did you have something to say, Russ?
Well, I mean, it was something that you said a few weeks ago on that, and I bought into it, and I'm sticking with it, which is I think that they've realized that the risk isn't really worth the reward, and let's just take the ball on the 30-yard line because it ain't worth, we might break it, or we might, be starting at the 15. I think these guys are just okay. Just kick it out of the back of the end zone. Let's just play defense from the 30. And they're not even they want the rule gone because I don't know. It's awkward. I'm watching it live. It didn't make it any more exciting. Most of them were just kicks out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah. No one's done it yet. There's no Sports Center highlight yet of some trickeration on one of these kickoffs. But I was paying attention to it. I was paying attention to how the blocking, how the players moved, where the flow was moving. And it just seems too easy. You've got everybody moving. The throwback pass just seems like it's there for every one of these. So it's going to be really interesting to see who does it first and what happens. So, I tell you, Khalif Raymond was stellar on kick returns. Too bad it didn't help the offense. But they kept directly kicking it to Tom Kennedy. We kept noting that. Oh, they kicked Kennedy again. He looked really slow on the first one. Then he caught the first one right by where we were sitting. And watching him run away, he just seemed really slow. He made to get back to the 30-yard line. But Khalif Raymond returning punts, one of the best. So there you go. You got the 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles on tonight. In about 20 minutes, game will be on. And Atlanta will be the road team, and they're getting 6.5. Kirk Cousins looked rough in his opening debut. You like that? There was he looked very Derek Carr-esque from what I saw. And Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. These guys are going to be tested today. If they go to 0-2, and the Saints go to 2-0, and the Buccaneers are 2-0, this is relegating the Atlanta Falcons right down there with Carolina to start the season. Have a great night, Jeffrey Addison. We appreciate you. So that's going to cause a tough start for Atlanta Falcons fans if they come out of the gate 0-2. People are going to be calling for Penix by week 7, maybe week 6, if it continues like this. Have a great night, Dwayne. Appreciate everyone. I know everybody's getting ready to go watch Monday Night Football. You're watching the Main Event Football Show, brought to you by the NFL Shop on the Villain Squad Network. The Villain Squad Network is an affiliate marketing partner of NFL Shop. Scan the QR code on your screen now and save 25% when you use SCORE 24.
It'll be there when you use the code.
Game something. I'll get used to it. It's the Main Event Football Show. I'm Main Event Mike. For Russell Wayne, I want everybody to have a great night. Be safe. God bless each and every one of you. Peace out, villains.
Hey, yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, canvas open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like license sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never to sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning, it's crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity. Your opportunity. It's your opportunity. Your opportunity. Your opportunity. Your opportunity. It's your opportunity. Your opportunity. Your opportunity.